Hey everyone, hope you're doing great today, and in this video I'm going to go over one of the most important concepts every single independent consultant and small consulting business owner needs to understand if they want to build a predictable client acquisition system. And it's going to be a very helpful video if you're in that position, so let's follow along. But before that, my name is Mo and I'm the founder of WC Funnels. I'm filming these videos to give you guys a lot of value. You can take this information, implement it on your own, or if you want, you can book a call with us and see how we can potentially work together. Looking forward to speaking with you. Now, first thing I want to talk about is a paradigm shift that is very much needed before we get into this concept. Now, a lot of consultants that I speak with have a mindset of being in an expert position rather than a business owner position. Now, here's the thing, right? If you're operating as an independent contractor, you're operating as a business. And this is very important because a business requires systems. And one of the most important systems of all is going to be the client acquisition system. How do you actually get a complete stranger outside of your network, be interested in having a conversation with you and actually jumping on a call and converting into a paid client? How do you actually do that? And it all comes down to the client acquisition system. And the reason behind why this system will unlock so much growth in your practice is because most consultants are completely relying on referrals. And while that's really great in terms of the client acquisition cost, is basically zero, what that could generate is a very much like feast and famine kind of cycle. And this actually fixes that, because for you to actually generate predictable clients, you want to have a system in place that can turn complete cold strangers outside of your network into paying clients and have referrals a nice to have rather than something that you're completely relying on. And the good news here is that this isn't really very hard to implement. You just need the right pieces in place for this to completely run 24/7 without you. But now that we got that out of the way, let's actually get into this system. So the first thing here, the first step of that system is literally just getting people to know that you exist. We need a way to actually get people outside of your network, know that you exist, and know that you offer something that could help them. This could be done through cold email, LinkedIn outbound, networking, online events, webinars, in-person events, paid ads. All of these channels are going to be ways to get people to know that you exist. You want to think of this as the fuel for this entire machine here. But anyway, moving on. So basically, once we have all this traffic here, we would need a front-end offer to get these people interested in having a conversation with you. So this front-end offer could be as simple as maybe a free audit. It could be maybe a strategy consultation. It could be like a prospect list that you put together if you're a marketing consultant, and you can go through that on the call, which is something that I'm going to go over in a second. So over here, we want something that is ideally free, that is ideally very valuable for the client that you're after, or the perceived value that they would see from that thing that you're offering is really high, to get the most amount of interested prospects from the traffic that we're generating here into actually taking on that offer. And by the way, the reason why content is so effective at getting clients is because it acts as step 1 and step 2 together. So basically, it would be an engine to get you traffic, to get people to figure out that you exist. And also, it delivers value, which is going to be the front-end offer. So if you post a piece of content, it does both at the same time, which is very effective because it completely fuels the entire system here. Now, here's the thing, right? We have this in place. We have the front-end offer. Now, how you can actually convert these interested people in that offer into an actual sales call, which is going to be the third step of this system. And you can do exactly that by delivering this front-end offer via a sales call. So a free strategy consultation is a given. It already transitions into a sales call. So that's perfect. This is acting as two things at the same time. If it's an audit, maybe you can go through the results or the feedback that you got through that audit on a call with the person that you're trying to speak with. If it's maybe like a free course that you're offering, you can give them access on a sales call. So you always want to deliver this front-end offer via a sales call. Now, sometimes you can, yes, maybe send over the document that you kind of created for them, and then they would consume it, get the value, and then you can ask them, hey, would you be interested in having a conversation about our paid offer? I mean, if you like what you see, we have more of it. So that could be a way. But generally speaking, I think the best practice here would be just to deliver this front-end offer via a sales call. Okay, so now we have a way to generate traffic and get people to figure out that you exist. And then we have the front-end offer to get them interested in speaking with you. And then we actually deliver that front-end offer via this sales call. So now we're here, okay? Now we're here, and this is where a mistake that I see a lot of consultants do as well, that we need to go over. Like, this is such a common complaint that I see from consultants, which is basically they're having a conversation, they're having interaction with a prospect that is going really well. And even after setting up a lot of follow-up calls and going back and forth, nothing actually comes from it. They don't turn into a paid engagement. And it almost always comes down to structuring this call right here. This is so vital, right? You don't want this call to turn into a free consultation. This is a call for you to deliver the value that you promised from the front-end offer, plus have a conversation about how you can guys potentially work together rather than just having them ask you questions and answering them back with a lot of technical detail that would do two things, right? You would either give them a 100-step to-do list and they were like, wow, I have all these things to do. Why would I mean, that's in their head. Like, why would I go with you? I can just try these out and actually try and solve the problem on my own. The second thing that can happen is that them looking at that 100-step to-do list and be like, wow, I'm so overwhelmed and this is way more complex than I thought it would be. I'm just gonna hold off. So these are the only two options that can happen, right? Sometimes, yeah, like they would look at all this technical detail and be like, well, I just don't want to do any of that. I'll just get you on board so you can take care of all of it. But most of the times, you just overwhelm them or you just get them to do it internally. This is why having a basic understanding in how a sales call is structured is so vital for you to be able to go to the next step. Okay, so now we have a source of eyeballs, we have a friend offer to get them interested, and then we have them on a call, and we go through the proper steps to structure that sales call. And then what happens next? Like in the pitch section, how do you actually convince them or get them interested in actually working with you and paying you real money? Now, here's where a productized consulting offer comes in. This is also very, very vital. And it's, if anything, you want to build this first and then build this whole system. And if you're not really familiar with productized consulting, it's basically having one single offer for one single client to help them solve one single problem, where the delivery for every single client is 80% the same. And the reason why this is so important is because if you want to start here without building your productized consulting offer, you wouldn't end up knowing which actual clients you want to go after because there would be so many of them. You would say, look, I have multiple different offers. I mean, which one do I want to go after? So that's the thing that you want to decide on first before you start getting traffic. So that's why you want to build a productized consulting offer to begin with that is focused on one problem, one solution for one niche. And once you understand that, you can build the whole system. Now, how you can actually build a productized consulting offer? How can you actually build that? And it's something that is a little more complex, and it depends on where you're starting specifically. If you're fresh out of corporate, if you're an independent consultant that had a couple engagements with some years of experience, or maybe if you have a small boutique firm, it really just depends what's your situation as of now. And what I ended up doing is a free Skool community that you can join that has a course that is fully built on being able to help you build a productized consulting offer. But it also has a lot of other free bonuses, such as internal SOPs to manage and run a consulting business, free LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Also, there's going to be a more advanced sales training for anyone that does want to look into that. Plus, there's going to be a community section for all the consulting business owners and independent consultants, so you guys can connect and build your network. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you inside. I mean, if that's something that is interesting to you and it could very much help you build the system, create that productized consulting offer, and actually get your practice off the ground or grow up to the levels that you want it to be. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And I forgot to mention, the link to join the free Skool community with the offers, course, and all of that is going to be in the description. I'll see you inside.